Yay! Why is YouTube trying to keep you from the stream? Damn you, YouTube. My husband played part of the music from Rankin and Bass's The Hobbit, and it's now stuck in my head. It's good music, though. Just putting together my tweet real quick. Alright. What was I doing? Alright, I need to look at my bookmarks. Oh, something tells me I didn't do. What? Oh, there it is. That was interesting. Yeah, I like my background. I will be starting in just a second, just grabbing a couple things real quick. I actually did not. I really should have bookmarked more stuff while I was, away, but I didn't. That's fine. I still have plenty to talk about. I just have to figure out where the thing is. Is this it? Ah, there it is. I forgot to bookmark that. And... alright. I'm sure if I get desperate, I can find something else to talk about. Or, you know, literally just about rambling. So... I will just talk about whatever pops into my silly little head. Okay, that makes sense now. Alright, put that in there. Only so that maybe I should bookmark it. Nah, we'll leave it for now. Okay. Let's, yeah, we'll start with that. And we'll deal with the other things. Okay. I guess we might as well just... Hello. How you doing? Hee. Time to open the dark gate. Yeah. The gate is open. I am here. I had a great week in Vegas. A lot of fun time. Really hot in Vegas. Unfortunately, with my fibromyalgia, I apparently have some... I normally keep it really well controlled, so I don't have that many issues. It just, you know, I just live my life as normally as I can. Unfortunately, it does come with some special issues, like my body occasionally forgets how to regulate temperature. So you get me in a place that's 110 degrees on hot cement, radiating that back up into your face, in a room or in a bar full of crowded people. And let's just say it takes me out real fucking hard. So I had fun, but I didn't drink a goddamn drop of alcohol. And I woke up with one of the absolute worst fucking, basically hangovers I have ever had in my life the next day. Because I was just so damn overheated. And despite the fact, you know, I drank plenty of water. Trust me, I drank tons of water. I had to drink a bunch of ginger ale too because my stomach was getting upset because of the heat. But the people were amazing. If you get the chance to do a meetup, I absolutely recommend doing a meetup. It is a fun time when you get the chance to do so. I know that in general, there's more meetups across the country. Sheep and I just have a tendency to go to the Vegas one because it's close and easy to drive to. Hopefully next year they don't do it, you know, in the middle of the hottest part of the year. But I understand why they had to move it. It is still just, it sucks. It sucks so hard. But do recommend doing it. Oh no, alcohol absolutely dehydrates you, hero. That's why you don't drink it when you need to keep the moisture in your body. But I did not have any alcohol. I had water and ginger ale. What's this? Do you have an opinion you want to expand upon on camera concerning power reviewers refusing to give reviews the game and devs that claim they need to be given support from big corpos to do it? I don't understand the second half of that sentence. I don't know about the devs claiming they need to be given support from big corpos to do it. I know that Bucky said that they didn't send out any pre-release review keys, so no one could do a pre-review. As for why they're not doing the actual reviews now that it's gone 1.0 or gold or however you want to put that, I mean, they're petty little bitches. Of course they're not doing the reviews. The game has done great. People are happy with it. It's absolutely inoffensive on every single face. There's nothing, absolutely nothing offensive about Pow World. You know, there's no politics in it. There's, for the love of God, they use type 1 and type 2 body types. They have pals of all different sorts. Yeah, they give you guns, but so do most video games. So it's so ridiculous about the whole thing. I mean, oh, okay. All right, that makes more sense. If you had without first party support, yeah. I mean, I'm always happy to reiterate my opinion there. So here's the thing about creative jobs. And honestly, this goes really well into, this isn't just game dev. This is any kind of creative situation, any creative, what's the word I'm looking for? Any kind of creative course. God damn it, I hate it when I can't remember my words. Any career you pursue that is of a creative type has a chance of not being successful. Creatives have a hard time finding consistent work because, for one, when you are creative, you have to sell yourself. You are your own product. And it's really easy to get into, or not really easy, but it's very tempting to get into those corporate type jobs that give you the money to be minimally creative and just give enough to satisfy the lowest common denominator. Those are jobs that kind of keep society vaguely running. The real creatives, the people who are truly passionate, hungry, who want to see their art thrive, who want to see things grow, don't do well in those environments because those environments are very regulated. They have very clear-cut lines, clear-cut boxes. There are sales goals, there's metrics to meet, all of these things. So when you're dealing with a situation in which some other talking head or some lobbyist or consulting firm has gone out and studied who the supposed customer is, researched the lines that they think that you need to meet, you can make art in that situation, and there has actually been some really cool art that comes out of those situations. Realistically, having limitations is beneficial to creativity. The problem is some people don't see certain things as limitations. They see them as freedoms, or some of the people see them as straight up stumbling blocks. The fact that you are paid regularly kind of negates a specific type of passion that you need to really make something innovative. And this goes especially for game dev, but you know, we've seen it in comics, we've seen it in novel writing, we've seen it all over the place. But in the end, if you are the type of creator who can only create in the safety of a bubble where you are given rules, regulations, goals, where someone else has pre-sketched the picture for you and you just go in and you color in the lines and the colors you think they need to be, you're probably not as creative as you think you are. And you are very definitely replaceable. For every one person who can really create, really take the constraints they're given, really sit and look at something and think, you know, well, these are where the walls are, and this is what I want to make, and create something within those walls that is transcendent. There are thousands of people who can sit down and just color the picture. And right now, AAA game dev is full of people who color pictures. They don't have any true creativity. They're not looking to make something new. They're not looking to make something innovative. They're literally just sitting down with a piece of paper that's already got the lines on it. You know, they already know that these are where the boundaries are, and this is what's supposed to be in there, and this is how many of this person's supposed to be in there, and this is how dark that person's skin tone's supposed to be. And they're just sitting down with their crayons and coloring in the picture. That's all they're doing. And they're angry because they're not doing it very well anymore. And because they're not doing it very well anymore, and because the people who gave them the picture aren't doing a good job of determining what the picture should be, they're losing their jobs. And it sucks. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and pretend it doesn't suck to lose your job. I do have a small amount of sympathy for people who have to figure out how they're going to rebuild their lives from here. However, I do not have so much sympathy that I am going to sit here and say, yeah, you shouldn't lose your job. You should 100% lose your job. And because you've lost your job, you now need to sit down, reevaluate yourself, because yes, this is something that has happened to you, but what you have from here is control on what you are going to do next. Are you going to improve your skills and go and try again? Are you going to look at yourself and think, you know what? This is not satisfying. I am not enjoying coloring in these pictures. I'm going to go find something else entirely different to do that has nothing to do with coloring pictures. Or are you going to sit down and think, you know what? I'm tired of coloring in other people's pictures. I'm going to make my own picture. I'm going to sit down and yeah, I might have to work at McDonald's. I might have to work for an appliance store. I might have to work somewhere else and do this only in the evenings and stay up late on my free time and run on low sleep and put out something eventually that is my own picture. If you are someone who can do that, I support that. I support the fact that you have sat down with what time you have, what money you have, what ability you have accepted the ultimate types of limitations to accept the ultimate type of freedom. The freedom to create yourself. The freedom to make your own picture.
Neat member. Welcome. The robes are in the mail.
Thank you for donating that sub, Matt. I really appreciate it. And that's how that works. That is how that works, and that is what people have to realize you're doing. You have the choice in the end to decide what you do. And so many of these people get fired, and their first reaction is, well, I shouldn't have been fired, is astounding to me, because you are not that valuable. there is a level of main character syndrome to these game devs and artists and writers who are losing their jobs and thinking, but I was the one. I was the important one. I was the one who made the things. Thus, I am the one who shouldn't. But you weren't. So many of them are working on somebody else's once upon a time passion project. They're working on somebody else's once upon a time baby. I mean, somebody who had nothing, or a group of somebodies, I mean, obviously like BioWare and Bungie and all of those started initially as their own groups, and they might have had a pool of money to pull from, but what they were doing wasn't developing something that was somebody else's skeleton and sticking stuff on it. They built the skeleton. They built those bones. It is one of those things that's just, when you are not the one building the skeleton, you do not get to sit back and claim that you don't get to sit back and claim the valor of having built it, because you weren't there. You came along later. It's okay, so it's a lot like, well, I mean, it is like and isn't like The Little Red Hen and the Grain of Wheat. One of my favorite childhood fables, obviously. Red hen finds a grain of wheat, plants the wheat. She asks the people around her, hey, can you help me grow this wheat? Or can you help me plant this wheat? They say no. So she plants the wheat herself. And then she tends the wheat. She asks everybody, hey, can you help me tend the wheat? They say no. Comes harvest time. She says, hey, can you help me harvest the wheat? They say no. So she harvests the wheat, and then she asks, can you help me grind the wheat? And they say no. So she goes ahead and grinds the wheat. Then she goes to bake the bread. She asks everybody, hey, can you help me bake the bread? Everybody says no. So she bakes the bread. And then she goes to eat the bread, and everybody all of a sudden shows up and says, yo, can I get some bread? And she's like, no. I put in all this work to make this bread, and you want to show up at the end after I've put in all the work and tell me that you deserve some bread? Fuck you. Now, there is a little difference, obviously, because they did show up at some point and put in a little bit of work, kind of. But that's like showing up when she decides to go ahead and bake the bread. I mean, let's say that it's the second time she's baking bread, and some of them realize, well, maybe if I get involved in baking the bread, I can have the type of bread I want. And they come in, and instead of following her recipe, which was, a great recipe, it's a basic bread, but it tastes delicious. And now they're here, and they're throwing in, one of them wants to throw in some olives, and the other one wants to throw in some chocolate chips, and they make chocolate chip olive bread.
Fresh meat. Member, welcome. The robes are in the mail.
And they make chocolate chip olive bread, and all of a sudden, you got chocolate fucking chip. Who wants chocolate chip olive bread? Who's going to eat that? And now they're upset that, oh my God, yuck. What the fuck? Also, Matt, that's hilarious. You awarded yourself a goddamn... Good job, Matt. Thank you for the subs. But yeah, who the fuck wants chocolate chip? Nobody wants chocolate chip olive bread. And then they're sitting at on the corner trying to figure out why the regular bread is selling. This plain old fresh baked, fluffy white loaf of bread is selling like hotcakes, and they're over there with their chocolate chip olive bread, wondering why nobody's buying their chocolate chip olive bread. And despite the fact that somebody said, well, everybody likes chocolate chips and everybody likes olives, so obviously if we put them both in the same bread, people are gonna buy it. No, they're not. You have missed the point of what people enjoyed about the bread. And that is where AAA stands currently. It is full of people who don't understand the original recipe. They weren't there when the original work was done, so they don't understand how it got there in the first place. They don't care, more importantly. They don't give a shit about anything that happened before because all they see is a place where they can get in, take the shortcut, and be in the place to put out what they think people want. I am sure there's some idiot out there sitting, well, I'm sure he's not listening to this because, let's face it, there's not a lot of people listening to this, and that's okay. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying there's not a lot of people listening to it. So the likelihood of someone actually sitting there thinking, but I like chocolate chip olive bread is low. But there's some idiot out there, some absolute brain dead person who has no taste buds thinking, but I would actually enjoy some chocolate chip olive bread. And to that person, I say, go bake your own goddamn bread. Don't change the recipe of Wonder Bread to make it chocolate chip olive bread, because just because you like chocolate chip olive bread doesn't mean the rest of the world wants it. It's that easy. So, as for where we started, that is how I feel about the whole AAA thing. They need to actually go out. If you are a person who is in the situation where you got laid off.
Fresh meat. Member. Welcome. The robes are in the mail.
Once again, thank you, Matt. I really appreciate that. But if you are one of those people who feel the need to make games, go out and make your games. I'm not promising you that the game's going to sell. I will absolutely never promise you that. But I will promise you that at least you're getting the chance to try to make something. At least you are taking the chance on yourself, on your talent, on your vision to make something. And the chances are that it's going to be better than whatever bullshit you were going to make using somebody else's skin suit, using somebody else's skeleton and title. I mean, that doesn't mean it's going to be good, because, I mean, that you take the Dragon Age of Veilguard and you call that something else, it still sucks. But at least you're not using a skin suit. At least you're not using somebody else's skin suit. But since I'm whining about creator stuff, that's actually what we're going to talk about a little bit today. We are going to talk about creator stuff. Now that I am done with the absolute weird ass rambling I've gone off on. So, I forgot to do the thing first. So I need to do this. There we go. So for those of you who are thinking about getting into creativity. For those of you who are thinking about getting into content creation, you might want to do it sooner as opposed to later. Because at least on YouTube, they're changing things up. They are making things different and more difficult. Oh, our super sticker's back? Cool. Alright. Now, current day, to become a YouTube partner, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. I have to actually look at my analytics. My analytics are probably not that good. So let's take a quick look real quick. Into the background. Go, studio. Damn. That's the last 28 days, so let's see here. Analytics. Hold on, I'm waiting for it to load up. Oh hey. That's nice. Can I change this? This is for the last 28 days. I don't want to see the last 28 days. I want to see the last year. Where do I change that? See more. Daily, yearly. All right, there we go. So, wow, that's scary. 365 days. There we go. So, damn. Hopefully that gets better soon. The watch time hours for the last year for, oh boy. Watch time hours for the last year are 2,446. Thank God I'm already in the program or I'd be fucked. Probably need to work a little harder and get some more watch hours. If anybody has some time to just play my shit in the background, please go ahead and do so. But so what they're doing, 1,000 subscribers, and from the original 4,000 watch hours, they now want you to have at least 8,000 qualified public watch hours in the last 12 months. Now, it's not that hard. It's kind of rough. You do need to actually, engage more. But the one that people are really getting a little upset about is the shorts. So 20 million qualified short views in the last 90 days. And that, unlike the videos, is a rolling window. So you have to keep up that 20 million views. That 20 million views. I don't think Sheep's over 1,000 subscribers yet, Matt. Though we should be checking on that. We should check on his, maybe give him a little push to over 1,000. Actually, you're right. I should go look at that right now. Because if y'all could help me get him there. Yeah, he's at 808 subscribers on his streaming channel right now. So you got to remember that there's two levels to this. I'm not seeing where they're changing. It looks like they're just changing the partner program. Hold on, I need to look just a second. Opportunities. You know what? We're just gonna go ahead and open up this website and we'll scroll through this together. Da 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 da. All right, let's look at this. There we go. All right. So important changes. In fact, we expect to pay more creators in 2027 and 2026. So we're expanding Premium Lite to all countries where we offer YouTube Premium. The subscription offers uninterrupted offline and background viewing of most content. Creators earn money from these subscriptions through a dedicated pool of revenue for each subscription type, 30% of the net subscription revenue for Premium and 60% for Premium Lite. This allocation factors in the cost of operating and promoting the service, including the amount we pay to music partners. This pool is distributed to creators based on member watch time and views, and from that distribution, creators receive revenue shares, 55% for long form videos, 45% for shorts. Interesting. I mean, I understand what you mean, Hero, about the monetization of YouTube, but here's where you get into an interesting thing. So people say, no matter what you do, YouTube's going to monetize your content. That was always true. no matter what happened, YouTube was going to try to make money off of ads and whatever. At least this way, people do get a cut of the pie. I do not make very much off of YouTube. I honestly can't say that. Basically, I would be better off being at work for an hour than I am being here for an hour. Any time of day. And that's nobody's fault. You know, that's just the way it goes. I'm not saying that I should be paid more. I'm quite happy with how things are. I enjoy doing this. That's the fun part for me. And then I have very kind people like Hero who say I have potential. I have been doing this for, oh my God. Has it been, when did I start? Was it 2019? I've been doing this for 8 years, guys, or 7 years, guys. But to be fair, I am my own worst stumbling block. The fact that I am not more popular is my fault. I don't blame anybody else. It's me and my lack of ability to be consistent. But I'm working on that. That's why we're here in the mornings talking about shit in an attempt to work on that whole consistency thing. Working on it. So, and I appreciate you guys for being here so much. And where are we now? All right. So, apparently, creator pool. Yeah, well, I don't really care about all this. With these additional subscribers, creators can expect higher earnings. When a user signs up for premium, partners on average earn more than when the user was watching ads, which kind of makes sense because most users don't want to watch ads. So they're not actually watching the ads. Whereas if they're paying the premium, they automatically are giving money to YouTube. Thus, there's actually money to give to the creators. Whole other thing. I understand why people don't pay for premium. I don't blame people. I also understand why people block ads. Again, I don't blame people. But the one thing to keep in mind is if you want creators to get paid, if you are not giving money directly to the creators, then that's the ad revenue, and premium is where the money to pay them comes from. That's just how that works. They're updating the shorts revenue to reward creators who drive conversation and engagement. That's a big thing lately. We'll talk about that later. YouTube partner ads and premium thresholds to keep pace with the growth of YouTube, which now sees over 20 billion daily shorts views and over 1 billion hours of watch time on TV every day. We are updating the YouTube partner program entry requirements for ads and premium revenue sharing for new creators. This update won't impact creators already in the partner program. So that's important to realize. If you're looking to do this, do it now. New creators applying for the YouTube Partner Program will need 8,000 qualified watch hours in the last 365 days, or 20 million qualified shorts views in the last 90 days. The entry threshold for our fan funding and shopping products remain unchanged. So, okay. So what that means is you need 5 for the fan funding for the memberships and all of that. You only need 500 subscribers, and I think it's 3,000 watch hours or 2,000. I don't remember the exact number of watch hours. It's one of the two. But, hold on, I need to get a drink. But yeah, so at least and honestly, that does make sense in a way, because realistically, by keeping the fan funding stuff the same, the 500 and I want to say it's 3,000 watch hours, the same, that means that they stand to make more money without having to pay people for the ad revenue. I remember that any money you give me here, YouTube gets 30% of. Yay. But hey, at least I get 70%. Yay. Taken together, these updates allow us to invest in new incentive programs that directly support creator growth and the many business models that work across YouTube. Creators can review and sign the terms within YouTube Studio, which will take effect February 1st, 2027. So that's it. It's really just they're expanding Premium Lite to all countries where there's YouTube Premium, which means more money in the pool from people who choose to pay that, which realistically does mean creators could see a slight bump in revenue. The downside, however, is, of course, you have to obviously generate the views and all that stuff. And then, of course, the threshold. Updates, doubling the watch hours. And I don't know how much the short views are. I don't pay that much attention. Are they doing this to have more of an AI thing going on? I don't know. The problem with the AI thing is there are a ton of AI channels out there, but realistically, I don't know. That whole thing is so fucked. It really is. There are genuinely, and people are going to be shocked about this, there are genuinely good and entertaining AI channels out there. You know, channels that put a lot of work into what they're doing, even though it's just AI. My mother listens to AI stories a lot. Some of them are fucking hilarious based on the fact that they're AI. They're things that a human couldn't quite do, but because of the way it mashes things together, it comes out very entertaining. But there's obviously a human touch in it too, because you can tell someone's going back and making sure that what they're putting in is actually entertaining, as opposed to just generating something and tossing it out. You can definitely tell the difference. This is an interesting point, Hero. Fact is on YouTube, any engagement is good engagement. And that's why you have so many people who are genuinely just angry and say whatever, because if you can get people to interact with it, YouTube doesn't care if it's a positive or a negative interaction. And honestly, it's really, really hard to police that kind of interaction. You can't tell people that they can only interact with each other in a positive way and get rewarded for it. That just doesn't work. And especially not expect to get anywhere with it. Humans don't work that way. You can't get someone to interact positively all the time. And it's just how that works. The thing that you have to do is not encourage a lack of negative interaction. It's discourage obvious unhealthy interaction. How do I put this? It is important to make sure that when you are interacting, or I hate trying to figure out how to say things sometimes. It is important to ensure that people actually talk about things. And unfortunately, even then, you can't really incentivize that. There is no way to make a person think. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can give a person information, but you can't make them think. If a person is not going to engage their brain, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you try to punish them. None of it matters, because their brain just will not turn on. They will not take the thought that they have been given. They will not take the information they have been given, look at it and think, I see this. So then there's this stuff over here to think about. It's one of the most frustrating things in my life. I know that as a person, I have a tendency to ask a lot of questions, But that's because I like to have a lot of information. Once I have my information, I can make my decision. If I don't have the information, I don't want to make my decision. I am not someone who's going to sit here and let someone say, well, yeah, you should just do this. That is not my nature. There are plenty of people, however, who will say, oh, yeah, well, that sounds right. I'm going to go and do that stupid thing you just told me. That is why AI is so fucking dangerous. That is why I read an article, or not an article, I read a tweet the other day from a guy who used to work retail and was just in a store and watched as a customer walks up. This example, this is what kills me is this example. So the customer walks up with a very blonde looking piece of picture, well, a blonde looking wood in a picture, and says, how can I get redwood to look like this? Well, if you've worked with redwood, you know that you're not going to make it blonde, because there's a reason it's called redwood. It has a natural red, darker tone to it. You can't get it to a pale blonde honey color and actually keep it, nice. It doesn't work that way. And the employee looks at the guy and says, I'm sorry, you can't do that. And the customer goes, but yeah, you can. Fucking AI showed me this. This is a picture and it says you can do it this way. And the guy's like, no, you really can't do that. It doesn't work that way. But the customer insists, and he goes off and buys the stuff and goes out and stains the wood, comes back and is complaining that it didn't work. Well, of course it didn't work, you dumbass. You can't make redwood blonde. It is redwood, literally in the name, redwood. What? And this is just basic. Basic logical things. We can go back and tie it all the way back into the fact that school systems don't actually teach logic and that people don't understand 1 and 1 is 2 anymore. And we could go off on that forever. That is why AI can be a problem. AI can do great things. AI can be a fantastic boon to human development. The problem is the people, and I'm just going to say it because it is what I believe. This is fully what I believe. The large majority of humans out there are not as far along the evolutionary scale as others. And this has nothing to do with color. Some of it has to do with color, but not mostly. There are plenty of people of all skin tones that are just not far enough along to be allowed to do this stuff. In the end, this isn't about anything but the fact that if you can't sit down and look at a piece of redwood and understand that you are not going to be able to take a finish to it. You're not going to be able to take a stain to it and make it look like a piece of blonde pine. Then maybe you shouldn't be allowed to use AI. maybe you shouldn't be allowed to do a lot of things. But I also firmly believe that there are people in this world who need to work. And by work, I don't mean they need to have a job. Everybody should have a job because it is important to provide for yourself and your life. That there are people who are definitely not made to lead. They need somebody else to tell them what to do. And that's okay. It's okay if you're a person who needs somebody else to tell you what to do. The problem is when you are a person who needs somebody else to tell you what to do And everybody else has been telling you your whole life, no, anybody can do this. Anybody is smart enough to do this. If you really want that, you can go out and do it. And then they put that person who has no idea how to self-actualize, has no idea how to self-realize, has no internal monologue, and puts them in a position where they are trying to lead people. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't. There are some people who can't handle having all this free time because they don't know what to do with themselves. And then they get themselves all stressed out and they start to worry and they start thinking, well, what about these other people who are also stressed out and worried? And then they get together and then they do stupid things like make up issues that don't actually exist. like there not being enough women in gaming and shit like that. That is where that shit comes from, is the fact that there are a whole bunch of people out there who have absolutely nothing else to do with their time and are just so stressed out that they need somewhere to put it. They need somewhere to go with it. And so they come into something else that has nothing to do with them, make up a problem, and then try to solve that problem. It's government. Government's the problem. Oh, okay, yeah. It all leads back to government. It all leads back to people who don't understand that the way they think, that what they think, that everything going on in their weird little head isn't in fact reality everywhere. That not everybody's like them. That life doesn't work like that. That they have to have the self-awareness to be able to know that's not always, that's not how that works. That reality is different. That you have to let people who are in the moment and the know and do the thing, and you can't centralize every decision just because you can't handle deciding how you want your eggs in the morning. Huh. And here I was worried that we wouldn't have time to talk. I wouldn't have enough time to talk about. God damn it. Here I was worried I wouldn't have enough things to talk about. That's what I was trying to say. But I want to talk about one other thing real quick. So we talked about the YouTube partner changing. So the next thing to talk about is, while that is happening, at the same time, the creator program on X is changing. Now, I happened to get into the creator program on X because I made a post over a year ago, close to a year ago, somewhere. I retweeted a post, and I literally, it was a post where they were taking a blowtorch to Oreos and trying to make a big deal about the fact that Oreos didn't catch fire. Well, the Oreos don't catch fire, my friend, because they are not built to. They don't have, excuse me. The compounds of an Oreo are just not made to catch fire. It's not because they're bad for you. They're bad for you, but that's for entirely different reasons. You can also take a blowtorch to broccoli and it's not going to catch fire. Why? Because it's got a high moisture content. It's just the way it is. The chemicals, the sugars, and everything in an Oreo, instead of catching fire, they melt. They bind together. It's like making glass or caramel. I mean, that's what they do. They just get more caramelized. There's nothing to really catch fire in an Oreo. It's just like there's nothing to really catch fire in a piece of broccoli. Has absolutely nothing to do with how healthy they are or are not for you. So, but that post went, I mean, I got like 12 million views or something on that. 12 million impressions on that post. It was hilarious. The fact that one sentence that I just kind of threw out there went just crazy. It was hilarious. Very funny. And, you know, at the time, the rule was 5 million impressions. I don't remember how many followers. I think you just needed, I think it was just 500 followers. And, you know, 5 million impressions. And you could join the creator program. So I joined. That was really the only good payout I ever got out of the program. I think I managed to get 100 or something a couple other times. But yeah, not the last, basically since the beginning of the year. I think I got $65 out of it. But I mean, let's face it, I'm not on Twitter controversy posting all the time. So I am not good at drumming up attention on Twitter. It's something I kind of got to work on a little bit if I want to get money from them. But we'll see. The big thing is at this point, I am not going to qualify for the new program, because what they've done for the new program is they've changed things. Now, what X wants is, obviously, they want more people to play for premium. They want more people to be verified. I'm not 100% if you have to pay for premium to be verified. Let me double check that. Premium on X2B verified. So what they want is, you're supposed to have 500,000 views on from home timelines over the last 90 days from verified accounts. No, that's not what I mean. Well, no, you need to be part of X to receive money, or you do need to be part of premium to receive the money. So when they say a verified view, I'm just trying to clarify, because okay. So yeah. So basically, if you do not have a blue check mark on X, your view on somebody's account doesn't count. And honestly, that's probably the worst thing in my case, is that I am totally happy to interact with people who do not have verified accounts. I am perfectly happy. I mean, I'll interact with anybody on X. I'm not going to change who I'm talking to just because I want to increase my payouts. But that's the thing. So in order to get into the creator program, you have to have 500,000 views, which sounds a lot less than 5 million. It is less than 5 million, I'll give them that. But they have to be on people's home timelines, which means basically as they're scrolling through their feed naturally. And they have to be verified. So what does that mean? That means that, for example, right now, I have, let me check. Oh, no, wrong one. So if I look at my analytics on Twitter for the last 3 months, I have right now, oof, my engagement's low for the last 3 months. That's fine. I have 66,000 views, just regular views. This is how they're changing it, Matt. I have 66,000 views. Or I have 66,000 engagements. Or wait, is it engagements or impressions I need? Hold on, I gotta double check it. Oh, impressions. Okay. So I have 1.4 million impressions right now. Now, if I just limit that to verified impressions, I go from 1.5 million to 105,000. or 150,000 impressions. So that means I need, what, 250, 350? 250,000 impressions or so in order to get back into the creator program. And currently, my verified followers, I have, of the 7.3 thousand followers I have on Twitter, I have 1.4 thousand. Which makes me sad because I've been trying to get to the subscription point for ages, but you have to have 2,000 verified followers for that. So, in short, what that does is it takes what might look like a lot of impressions and cuts it down to only people who pay for Twitter. So, your view doesn't count on somebody's timeline, on a creator's metrics, unless you pay for Twitter. That is the downside. And, you know, it kind of is what it is. I'm not going to sweat it because, as I said, it's not like I'm making a ton of money. The people who are making a ton of money are basically, they're going to be fine. They're going to be able to keep making the money just fine. Thankfully, I have a day job. So I am not relying on Twitter for my income or YouTube. Though, it does help me with little things like, you know, Vegas trips, replacing the water heater, cooking for my dogs, because my dogs are assholes. But it is the way it is. So, that is what's happening with Twitter right now. And there are a lot of people upset about this. A lot of gaming of the system. I understand why they changed it. I do. I mean, it'd be great if they actually started pushing, like, I do these streams. I do them on Twitter too. I'm doing this on Twitter right now too. So hi, if you're on Twitter. I do these on Twitter. I obviously post my original posts. I have reposts that or quote tweets that I comment on. And I've tried to do the article thing, but the articles just don't seem to get pushed. They're basically just treated like long tweets, and it's kind of like, what is the point of an article if you're just going to treat it like a long tweet? They need to really set up their system better. Oops. They really need to set up their system better so that they can get more views to what people want. Like, you know, if someone wants to see my articles, they should have or wants to see articles on Twitter in general, there should be a drop-down box for that. There should be a place where they can go onto their timeline, hit the drop-down box, and see the articles of the people they follow. Same with videos. There should be a drop-down box, you know, say I don't want to watch articles, I want to watch some videos. They should be able to go to the drop-down box, see the videos. They should be able to go to the drop-down box, see the live streams. That way they can see the type of content they want. If X is really going to try to be this everything kind of platform, you know, short-form tweets, short-form videos, they just put in the reply feature where you can blue screen yourself over somebody else's video and talk about it. If they want to do that kind of thing, then what they really need to do is they need to make it so that people can access that stuff easily when they want it. Make it so they can switch seamlessly between these things. And, of course, make it so that they can see the people that they're following. That would be a really, really nice thing if they could get that going. But I don't anticipate them doing that. Because, well, that would make sense or something like that. I don't know. However, guys, that is my hour for the day. It is time to go ahead and wrap things up to say goodbye. There will be a rambling tomorrow. So that will be fun. I mean, it is fun. I enjoy doing this a lot. I can't believe that I managed to talk that long. And yes, thank you, Carl, for teeing that up for me. Thank you, Matt, so much for the donated things. There's a word. God damn it. I hate that I can't remember words, guys. It's the fibromyalgia. The brain fog is real. It is so real. For the gifted memberships, thank you, Matt, very much for the gifted memberships. I appreciate it. For stopping by, talking. I appreciate you guys so much. But yeah, I will catch you tomorrow. Yeah, for the souls. For the donated souls, yes, I need to put together a souls bucket. Soul donations. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Sheep will be streaming tonight, I do believe. You know, more of his stuff. His Kingdom Hearts. Yep. But y'all have a good day. Take care of yourselves. And I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.